Automobiles and art, they go together and always have. From fins to neon, cars and color. Ever since the first car, there's been someone taking a picture of it, or drawing it, or painting it. Joseph Craig English is a popular artist in the Mid-Atlantic region. Today, we're going to talk to him and look at his art and his automotive art. Tell me about how you got started in art and what your style of art is and what your background is.
Well, I've always been an artist, so I can't really tell you that there was a starting point, because there's nothing that I've enjoyed doing more than creating art, and I've been drawing since I was old enough to hold a crayon. I went to University of Richmond, and they didn't have much in art in terms of things that would put you toward a career. And so after 2 years and taking every art course that they had, I decided to go to the art school at VCU. And I didn't get much support from my family and friends, because they felt that it was impossible to make a living as an artist, and I should be leaning towards something that would give me gainful employment. And so I went anyway, and it was a real turning point in my life. And then when I got out, we were in the midst of a major recession, not unlike we are now, and there just weren't any jobs.
What year would that have been?
That was 1970. And I was in Richmond, and there was absolutely nothing happening in Richmond. And so I came up to DC, and I started interviewing with design studios and advertising agencies. And I finally got an offer from an ad agency, which was just one guy and his sister. They were just basically getting started. And it was very auspicious for me, because he taught me the business from the ground up. I became like his sidekick. And but all the time I was making fine art at night and on the weekends, even though I was employed, and I was employed in an area of art. I was doing my silkscreen prints mainly on the weekends and when I get home from work, and I had started showing them. And what happened was that I started having really terrific success selling my work. And over a period of a couple years, I started making more money selling my original silkscreens than I was making at the agency. And even though I had a good job, I decided to make the leap into self-employment. And I did that in early 1975. And so since 1975, I've been creating and showing and selling my work.
Describe your process of making art.
Well, these are original silk screens, and I actually learned how to silk screen in high school. And by the time I got to art school, I really further refined the process. It's a very traditional printmaking method in which you create a stencil for each color, and then the color gets printed onto the paper in layers, one color at a time. Now, there's lots of different ways of making a stencil, but the way I make a stencil is by taking an X-Acto knife and hand cutting the stencil. And what that does in effect, it gives you a really, really sharp line. And I like the cleanliness of this method, because there's a clear delineation between my colors, and all the lines are very hard. So it's a lot like drawing, but instead of drawing with or painting with a pencil or with a brush, I'm painting with a knife. And that gives me that real nice clean look. Now, I love color, and when you look at my work, you'll see that my work is very colorful, and that's what draws me to a subject, is the interesting juxtaposition of color. So I'm going to look at a subject, I'm going to photograph it first, and then I'm going to sketch it out in pencil to make a pattern, and then I'm going to hand cut my stencils using my pencil drawing, and I'm going to interpret what I see, and generally my interpretation is an exaggeration. So I'm going to spice it up, I'm going to give it a lot more color, I'm going to make it a lot more dramatic, and I'm going to simplify what's there so that it reads a lot clearer and a lot more immediately when you look at it. One of the things I do is I ask my my viewers to get involved with my work cerebrally. I don't give them all the information. I'll crop a car so that you only see a portion of it, and because I feel like the people that are looking at my work know what is there even though they don't see it. And by forcing them to get involved mentally and challenging them to put the rest of the image in there, it makes it a lot more exciting than just literally saying, here it is, here's the car, this is the whole thing.
Okay, looking at your art, I see, you're from the Washington, D.C. region,
Mm-hmm.
and I see, you have famous images of all the monuments, a lot of local landmarks like Ben's Chili Bowl.
Right.
But, at the same time, I see when you do a house, like a house in Old Town or something in Georgetown, just a little part of the house like you do a little part of the car.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but I see the whole Capitol, I see the whole Washington Monument. Why the difference there in that subject?
Well, not always. And I've got a beautiful piece that's called Tulips that's of the Washington Monument, and you see about 1 inch of the Washington Monument. I mean, the smallest amount possible for you to know that it's actually the Washington Monument. Now, I've never had anybody mistake that for anything else, although there's almost no information there at all, And some things, it's artistically, there's a real interesting balance between what I call content and impact. You'll notice the pieces that have more information, like the piece of the Capitol, the view down Pennsylvania Avenue, when you see the whole Capitol in the street, the cars on both sides, it doesn't have a lot of impact. But if you see a piece like the Capitol with the fireworks, the 4th of July, and you just get a bit of the Capitol dome and the fireworks exploding around it, it has tremendous impact. So the dilemma for an artist is to balance, not to put so much content that you lose impact, and not to make the piece so abstract that you can't tell what it is. There's no content. So you're always balancing how much information do I give them without sacrificing the impact of the piece. Less is always more with my work, because if I give you less, I'm going to give you more impact, and it's going to really grab you and smack you right in the eye. And that's what I want to do.